Hey there, I'm Diana from BeMommyWithStyle.com and welcome to today's video. So today I wanted to share some things that I've learned over the past few years as my business has really changed with the whole change of the digital landscape, and I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned. This past year in 2023 was also my biggest year ever as a creator, and so I wanted to share some of my takeaways from that, some of the things that I focused on, and hopefully I'm hoping that some of these things can help you if you're a creator or a digital entrepreneur in your own business and making decisions of what to focus on. So a little bit of background, I did start out many moons ago making videos here on YouTube. YouTube was a completely different place back then. Can we just go ahead and say that? It was a completely different place back then. You could just turn on the camera back then and it was just whatever goes, and it was very nice. You really felt like you got to know your community. But YouTube has changed over the years. It's almost like you have to have like a full production team now, and have, you know, scripts and everything for your videos. It's really like almost a TV production is what it's turned into. And so we have gotten a ton of awesome opportunities because of YouTube, and definitely I credit me starting out on YouTube with kind of changing my whole trajectory with really focusing in on digital entrepreneurism as a career. I didn't really even know the full scope of possibilities back then, and let's be honest, a lot of us are just kind of building the ship as we go because all of this is pretty new. But I wanted to share kind of some of the changes that I made within the past couple of years and share a little bit about what has started making huge gains in my business to make 2023 my biggest year yet as a creator. And if you're wondering, it's in parentheses, it had literally nothing to do with YouTube. So I just want to go ahead and clear that up because I think a lot of people, when sometimes people start out on YouTube, they just think of them as a YouTuber, and I think in the early days we even got stuck in that cycle ourselves of like, we're a YouTuber, we can't do other things. But I've started doing a lot of other things the past number of years. One of the biggest changes, and we'll get into this a little bit, was during the pandemic, I started my Amazon storefront, started making Amazon review videos, and really started focusing in as an Amazon affiliate. And that definitely changed my whole trajectory to really start focusing on affiliate marketing. If you know anything about affiliate marketing, it's a huge space with a lot of different angles. And I found out that I actually quite really liked it. And it turned into this thing that was more profitable than even going out in the, out in the real world and getting a real job. And there's a lot of like mental hurdles that you have to get over, especially I think for millennials that are my age, when you're told like your whole life, like you have to go to college and get a degree to go get a job. Like that's just like pounded into you. And so I've had to do a lot of mindset work to like be able to accept that like this is my path and this is what is working, and to just hone it in, get a good strategy, and scale. And so this past year I did a lot of mindset work, and that's something that I definitely credit a lot of my scaling to, just being able to kind of change that mindset and open it up to a bigger mindset. But I also made this post the other day on my personal Facebook, and I thought, you know what? This is worth sharing in case it helps another creator out there, in case it helps someone that's watching this video and is in the digital marketing, digital entrepreneur landscape, and they're really trying to figure out what to focus their time in on. This is how I had my absolute biggest year ever as a creator in 2023. And just a little asterisk in case you're still like, kind of like, I'm watching this on YouTube, but you said this wasn't because of YouTube. I still post on YouTube because it's very nostalgic for me. We've gotten so many amazing experiences because of YouTube, and it's really what got me started in this digital entrepreneur world, but it's definitely not what I consider my focus anymore. Definitely about, I don't know, it's probably been 7-8 years now, pretty much since Instagram came on the scene. I think all content creators had to start becoming this more holistic content creator where you're making content across multiple platforms, and then inevitably you kind of find other things that you're good at and create revenue for your business along the way, and you start splitting off all these different directions to where now I have friends that are content creators that work in completely different facets, and they're making money in all these really cool ways, and it's all different from person to person. It's actually really neat to see how much it's changed since those wee early days on YouTube, when really YouTube was, I think, one of the few things out there that you could do to make money. It was a YouTube blog, and now there's just tons of stuff. So to kind of rapidly take you through some of the transitions that I've gone through, I did start a blog a number of years ago when I was going to all of these awesome events that I would go to at Disney and at Social Media on the Sand, at the beaches, resorts. I was around a lot of bloggers, and so I saw the power of having blogs. And in the past couple years, niche blogs have been this huge thing as well too. So it's not just that you have one blog, you have many blogs, and you're creating impact in multiple communities. So that's something I have going on in the background. Also, during the pandemic, I had been an Amazon associate for a really long time, but I heard about the Amazon Storefront and Amazon Influencer Program, and I was invited in as an Amazon live streamer. They sent me an invite, you know, being a YouTuber. I guess they thought, oh, she'd love to do a live stream. I really don't love going live, so I did that a little bit, but I don't do it a ton. But what I did find that I loved was creating a storefront and curating these different collections together. And then I really started honing that in and focusing on it. So the reviews that I do on Amazon can also go on to Amazon's product pages and help people that are shopping on those pages as well, which is super cool because you're helping a really large audience then. And then from there, I had been an associate for a really long time, but I started really honing in my affiliate marketing strategy with not just Amazon, but across a lot of different platforms with my affiliate marketing and then blogs, and it kind of snowballed from there. So I have been really kind of focusing on the affiliate marketing strategy the past couple years, and really the past year started to look at scaling. So here are some of my takeaways from the past year and how I had my biggest year ever as a creator in 2023. So here are some of the things that I changed up. I continued attending conferences, and I met some awesome people at these conferences, and we continued to follow up with each other every single week, every other week. And we had these online meetings where we continued to cheer each other on, to help each other out with issues. And this is amazing. If you can create these pods, these masterminds, these little groups of people that have a similar business to you, it's really, really huge. You can help propel each other, help get each other through these tough spots, and I do definitely think that is something that helps you scale. I invested in courses. I invested in multiple courses last year. Some were very high ticket, mid four-figure courses that I invested in to help me scale. And then that really helped take me to the next level. I created some systems in my business that I could duplicate, and this is huge. When I wrote it out, I actually put this in all caps because I feel like this was one of the most important points, because these systems that I made that I could then duplicate allowed me to start scaling beyond myself. So usually the biggest thing that holds you back in your business is yourself. Like, I can only be in one place at one time, making one video or writing one blog or doing one thing. So I think also on the list, it says I started hiring out some projects to VAs, which definitely helps as well too. But if you can create systems that you can easily then duplicate, that is what helps you scale. And so I found some systems last year that really, really helped me scale. So I just started getting my automations in place and then just adding on, adding on, adding on. I also changed formats that were no longer serving me. You saw that here on YouTube because I was like, at the end of the year, I was like, look guys, it's been real, but I can't just keep sitting around talking every single day about like, welcome to my day in the life, and like, this is what I did today, and like, I'm going and working, but like, it's not interesting. Like, I had to just stop doing that format, you know, like it's just me working during the day. No one, I don't know why, bless you all, I don't know why 1,000 people would keep watching that over and over. It was literally the same thing, and I couldn't keep editing it. So I changed formats that were no longer working for me, not just on YouTube, but across other areas of my blog as well too. Don't be afraid to like just stop doing something if it's not working for you, because ultimately it's our businesses. We have to decide what works. And then that kind of leads into the next one, where I assigned an ROI to every activity that I was doing across my day, and I cut out all of the low ROI activities. So the activities that really, I either wasn't getting enjoyment factor back out of it, or I wasn't making literal revenue back out of it. I took all of those activities that were lower ROI activities. I either hired them out if I needed to keep doing them, or I just cut them if I was able to cut them. So don't be afraid to make some changes. And then I also, the last point I had on here was I started hiring out project-based projects to VAs to help increase my productivity. So this, I think, really leads to, and one of the courses I was in, they were like, you have to build your team. You've got to build your team. And you have to find people that even if you can do everything as an entrepreneur, you need to delegate the things that either aren't your forte or you just plain don't like doing. And that really, really helps a ton. So those are my biggest lessons that I've learned over the past year. And so what I'm really hoping is I can take those lessons that I learned last year and had my biggest year ever as a digital entrepreneur, as a creator, as anything, and then really take them to continue scaling into the next year. So the name of the game, as far as what I do, is I really am focused on passive income at this point. I love passive income that I'm basically making while I'm making this video, while I am on vacation, while I'm asleep. I love creating systems where I can create that passive income. I also really, really love automation. So if I can automate it, set it, forget it, that is the name of the game for me. So I love having a business, but I also love being able to step away from it. And automations are one of the key things that I have really, really implemented well to have these huge, huge gains. And so these are pieces that if you don't have them currently in your business, I highly, highly recommend. You don't also have to keep reinventing the wheel. And a lot of our like mini group discussions have kind of circled around this in multiple groups of creators. If you're a creator, you literally don't have to keep creating the wheel. You have a huge bank of content that you have already put out previously if you're not a brand new creator. So don't be afraid to repurpose, recycle, reuse that content. And I think I really had to break that mindset from being on YouTube because it's always like a new video out this week, a new video out this week. If you're working in other facets, if you're working in affiliate marketing, if you're a blogger, you really can take pieces and reuse them a lot of different ways. A lot of the creators that I know, I'm not personally doing this, but a lot of the creators that I know, they're actually taking their YouTube videos and then sending them to a VA or putting them in an AI program to cut them up and then be able to reuse them on a TikTok or an Instagram or whatever, a short. So there's so many inventive ways at this point to be able to be more productive in your business and automate. Highly, highly recommend that. If you don't have email automation set up, that one's a huge one because you're constantly talking to your audience. And then I also have a ton of automations that I have set up. Like I am talking directly to the audiences that I want to, when I want to, how I want to, and I don't have to sit around and wait for an algorithm to decide when they want to show my video, when they want to show my blog. This has been a huge discussion this past year because if you are a blogger, you know that there's been some huge changes to the algorithms and like everyone lost their minds for like 2 months. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the helpful content update. But if you're not beholden to these algorithm changes, if it literally doesn't affect you, whether or not the algorithm changes, and it's just kind of like, oh, well, that's a bummer, but you still are able to talk directly with your aligned audience, that's huge. So these automations that I put in place have been one of the best things I've ever done for my business. And I hope that I can come back next year and say, and 2024 was even bigger, because this year is all about reaching out in new ways, creating new systems, and just continuing to scale. So I hope that has been helpful. If you're a creator and you kind of have been stuck against the wall, like that hamster on a wheel, and it's just like over and over and over again, there's better ways out there. There are better ways to do these things. And I wish it was YouTube. I do, right? I mean, but it's not. Like, I still do YouTube because it's enjoyable. And honestly, it's kind of like almost like my family scrapbook. Like, I love looking back on those videos. I'm so glad. I kind of almost wish I would have started just like a year sooner. So I would have had like Isabella's first trip to Disney World and all of those sorts of things kind of chronicalized. But at a certain point, you know, you really have to look at whatever's working the best for you in your business and really hone in on it and try to figure out ways that you can create systems around it, figure out ways that you can automate it, and figure out ways you can duplicate it, because that is how you are going to scale. So I'm going to have a link down below with more information about my scaling and automation. I'm going to have some free things that you can grab to help you with your own scaling and automation, if that would be helpful. But I just wanted to share my exciting news because it's been a good time. I mean, I'm really excited that all of this work that I put in has really paid off. So it's very exciting. So coming up, I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite items for spring, also some spring Disney looks, and I'm going to be packing for some trips right around the corner as well too. So those videos will all be coming up very soon. But thanks for watching today and have a great day.